Good morning, good morning. How are you? Welcome, welcome. I am so glad for those of you that will be able to follow this morning. I am not only live on my page, but also in the group Divas Get Crafty. For those of you that don't belong to that group, please follow. Somebody should be jumping on here soon, hopefully, that could put the link in the comments so that you will be able to join that group, which is so fun. A bunch of creative creatives who are always making something great, giving great tips to inspire, hopefully. Anyway, today is going to be a fun-filled day of those creators. I believe until 8 o'clock tonight, there'll be a new presenter every hour on the hour. I'm starting it off here at 10. And for those of you that don't know me, I am Lori with Interior Jewels, where I create and design wreaths, floral arrangements, and home decor. So again, today all the creators are going with the fall theme, so you will see all things fall. I am going to be creating a pumpkin today. Oh, Christy, good morning. Seeing your comments always calms my nerves, knowing that I've gotten on here and I haven't technically messed up anything. You are so welcome. I am so excited to be here. This is fun. I was just telling everyone about the group. And if you are able to drop in the link, that would be awesome so people can click on the link and join the group. Hey, Kath, good morning. How are you? Yikes, good morning. You can't believe what I've been doing already. It's hot. I'm sweating. My husband had me out there working. I can't even tell you what's going on out there. So I was very happy to come down here to my happy place and be able to create with you where this is my therapy. Today I am going to be making a pumpkin. What says fall more than a pumpkin, right? I guess you would call this a wall hanging. This is not something that would go on a front door because it's too thick and it's a little delicate. So it's one of these things that you could add to your, thank you, Christy. You'll see in Christy's comment that she put the link for Divas Get Crafty. Please click on that, join the group. As I said, there's great creators in there, great for inspiration, see wonderful projects made. It's a lot of fun. Good morning, Eileen. How are you? Good morning, Di. Oh, I'm so happy that all of you popped on. So, as I was saying, I'm going to be making a pumpkin. And what's cool about this project is it's really inexpensive. This is a pumpkin form that I got, I'm sure many of you have seen, hard to see because you can see through it, at the Dollar Tree. I've had these actually for a couple of years, so I actually got them for $1 because now it's really a $1.25 store, not a dollar store. But that's so much more hard to say, right? Anyway, I'm going to be putting fabric on here. I've seen a lot of people do these, and I'm sort of putting my twist on it. There's so many different interpretations that you can come up with. But I have this pretty lace, which is actually a lace curtain topper. I got this at the thrift store for $2.99. I could make quite a few projects out of this, but I just loved the lace look. Good morning, Cindy. Thanks so much for joining. How are you? I really wanted to go for I don't even know what, a shabby chic, a little bit more elegant design, but you could use any fabric. I just happened to wanted to do the lace, so we're going to try the lace. I am also using what I had left over as this chunky yarn, a little bit of this rope that also comes from the Dollar Tree. So this is a really inexpensive project, and my thought is that this is going to be really pretty. Let's see how it goes. So, how is everyone this morning, and where are you from? Here on Long Island, it is another hot day. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is, again, I said that this was a curtain topper. The bottom of it is scalloped. So I'm going to look for where the scallop is the longest, because that gives me the widest piece of fabric. And I'm just gonna cut around this to get what I feel will be needed. Just gonna roughly measure, and then I'm gonna cut. And then basically, this is just gluing. If you have a glue gun, Texas here, what's the temperature in Texas? Big Texas. Must be hot there. I'm assuming it's hot all over the country, right? Oh, thank you, Cindy. All right, so I've pretty much roughly figured how wide I need this. I'm going to cut now. I've watched many people do this project. Again, there's so many different ways that you can do it, and you can use whatever fabric you like. This could be a solid fabric, orange, any of the jewel tones, a beautiful, I don't know what, copper color. But again, I really wanted soft and pretty. Okay, now I happen to have 2 of these, and the people that I have watched do these have used 2 of them. Look, I got a cord on my bracelet. Staying busy in PA. Good for you. I forgot what I was saying now. Oh, they used 2 of these forms. I'm going to take off my tags. Again, just so you know that these were from the Dollar Tree. I've had these sitting around forever and couldn't decide what I wanted to do with them. But what people have done is use 2 forms. And to be honest with you, I'm not exactly sure why, other than it holds it into place. So I sandwiched my fabric in between the 2. And really the only thing that I'm using the second one for, is to hold the fabric in place. I'm really not, the end project is not gonna have 2 of them. I'm gonna take the top one off. You're making sauce tomorrow. You're picking up 3 bushels of tomatoes. Wow, I saw your videos with the clams, Kath. That looked amazing. Kathy was out there picking her own clams while she was kayaking, coming home and preparing the clams. It looked amazing. Okay, so now I am pulling the fabric through and making sure that I have it. Now, when you're doing fabric on this, because it's a round structure, you're gonna have a little bit of puckering, but because the lace fabric is so thin, it really doesn't matter. So that may be a little bit more of a challenge if you use a thicker fabric, which I haven't done. So I'm only going to do it, I'm only doing it with the lace. So, and this is so thin that it moves very easy. It's almost fluid-like. And as I said, this entire project basically is the glue gun. I am going to put a dab of glue. I probably go 1 inch long with my glue gun on the frame and fold the fabric over. Be careful not to burn yourself. I work with a glue gun every day in doing my floral designs. I actually have blisters that are not pop jet on my hands. There's nothing worse than a glue burn. Okay, so I made my first glue there. And the trick is, wherever you do your first glue, go opposite that. This way you can continuously be pulling the fabric taut so you don't get any wrinkles. And the one opposite this is the stem, so I'm going to make a cut so I can pull the fabric around the stem of that pumpkin. Okay, I'm pulling it, Again, I do my glue bead probably an inch wide, not to go so long around the whole thing that the glue starts drying before you start pulling the fabric, because I like to go slow to make sure that the glue is really staying nicely, or the fabric is nice and taut. And I will cut any excess after this. So now I did these two sides. I'm going to turn it and I'm going to do the side. I'm going to do about an inch bead of glue, pull that over, and it takes pretty quickly. And because the lace has holes in it, the glue comes right through and it sticks so easy. Now I'm going to go opposite to make sure that it's staying nice and taut. I just love the design in the lace. It's such a delicate design. And as I said, you could do this with absolutely any fabric you like. Okay, so I have all 4 sides now. I am going to take off this second one. All I did, I had that sandwiched in between because it basically held the fabric there for a few minutes. But I don't need this. I'm just going to keep going around now and gluing the fabric. And I will have excess that, again, you can go around and cut at the ends. It's really a foolproof project. And again, I like sharing things that are easy to do, inexpensive, that anyone can do. So even if you didn't have these materials at home, they're inexpensive to go buy at the dollar store. I haven't been to the dollar store in a while, so hopefully they still have these forms available. And see how I keep going back and forth. I do one side and then I do the other side to make sure that I am keeping the fabric taut. That we really have. When you get to the edge is where you're going to have some, I guess, gathering. But again, because lace fabric is so thin, that's not a problem. It's really not noticeable. And again, I keep going back and forth, back and forth. Have any of you started decorating for fall? You would think I have. I've been making fall for quite some time now, but we have to do that to make sure that we have the store stocked. My customers' custom requests coming in, so fall has been being made for quite some time, but I haven't done anything for myself. I'm still holding on to summer here. As I said, very hot here today. It's a beautiful beach day, actually. You're waiting for me, Kath. I have to come and see how your house looks, Kath. I said that last time. You should have some, a little bit of respite now. I guess that's why I see you out kayaking and clamming. You got all of your house projects done, all of your parties done, your son off to school. You did good, girl. And again, on the edges where there'll be some gathering, and that's okay. This is very thin fabric, so it's easy to gather. It's not thick and clunky where you're going to see pleats. got one more piece to do here. Pull this a little bit more. You can't believe what I was doing before I came down here. I have one of those outside carport tents. I don't know what you call them. You're working on your decorations, Cindy. Good for you. My husband absolutely loves to decorate for fall. I mean, I do too, but he really loves it. And let me ask you something. Do you decorate more for fall or Halloween? I personally prefer to do fall because once I take my summer things down, fall goes up and that stays until I'm going to put Christmas things up. My husband likes to do a lot of Halloween stuff. And then I feel like I have to take that down before Thanksgiving. Like fall goes, it just lasts for a longer time in my opinion. All right, I have that side done. Now I'm on the other side. And again, this goes pretty quickly. It's just monotonous sitting here with the glue gun, inch by inch. I just make sure that I keep pulling the fabric so I don't have, that this stays all flat. I don't have any big wrinkles. Oh, the carport, you have no idea. So anyway, I have this carport in my driveway. I used to do a lot of furniture refinishing, and that's where I used to do a lot of that because big pieces of furniture I couldn't get in the house. I worked down the basement. Getting that down the stairs was not an option. So much of that is done in the carport outside. Well, I don't really do furniture anymore, but my woodworking would be done out there. I have my saws out there. You know, any of the home decor items that I make out of wood, I do out there. I store my wood out there. And if any of you had seen, even though I don't do furniture to sell anymore, I had recently done furniture for my daughter who moved into her new apartment. So I did a kitchen table for her. I did a dresser. And that's where I do it because it gives me room to work out there. You have an idea. Eileen definitely has an idea. Anyway, after I finished those pieces of furniture, which if you go way back on my page, you can see those pieces. They really came out beautiful. But after that, the entire top of that tent split open. During, excuse me, I have a hair or a glue strand hanging. During a rainstorm, of course. Oh man, did I start to panic after all the work that I had just put into that furniture. I'm like, no way can this get ruined. So I went out there and I had to put tarps over the furniture itself. Then we had to put a huge tarp over the actual tent itself. I mean, literally the entire... Good morning, Sunny. How are you? Thanks so much for joining. So the whole top had split open and we had to put a huge tarp over it. This is the third time that this has happened, mind you. So since I really don't do furniture anymore, we started contemplating, do I really need that? Just to store my wood and cut my wood out there. I do have a shop down here that I could do it. It's just more convenient to do it outside. So we contemplated getting rid of it. But it's been sitting there for like 2 months now with this tarp over it. It's not a pretty look. So anyway, we decided to replace it again. The new cover came yesterday. So now it was time to clear out the space, take everything out so we can replace the cover. And if anyone has ever done that, it is a job. I cleaned it out yesterday or the day before to get rid of all the things that I didn't want and put at the curb because the garbage men were coming yesterday. But now taking that actual top off and putting a new one on. So my husband had me out there. He's like, come on, help me move this, help me move that. I was dripping. I'm like, I can't do this. I have to go live. What do you mean you have to go live? I said, I have to go live and see my girls. And the Crafty Divas. He's like, What? I said, I'll talk to you later. So I left him to do it. It was very stressful working with him. So I was happy to escape and come down here. And this is my therapy. Does anybody else have a problem working with their husband? He's a hard worker. He's a good worker. He's a perfectionist. Does it well, but I just, you know, when you have your own idea or way of doing something and it's different from theirs, I just prefer not to work with him. So it was perfect. Oh, he must have loved that. Oh, I'm sure he did. So when I tell you, I'm still sweating. I just threw my hair back. I'm like, I gotta go. And I left him. Okay. So this is fully on here now. Isn't the pattern of the lace so pretty? Yeah, we're always on the brink of divorce. Why can't they just listen? I want to say 9 times out of 10, I have a better way of doing things. But he doesn't agree. He just needs to be in control, I think. So anyway, what do you think about that? Now, you'll see in the back that this has extra fabric. So what I'm going to do is go around. Look, I have glue strings. I'm going to go around and cut this as close to the form as possible. I don't want a big overlap over here. But I'm not finishing the back either. This is really how it's going to look. Other than the edges, and I'll show you what we're going to do with that. But I'm just going to cut this fabric all the way around. And geez, the fabric goes on it and it just looks so pretty. I missed a little spot here. Let me glue this. You just glue and pull the fabric, hold it for a second, and it will stick. Oh, thank you, Cindy. It is pretty lace. And again, I love getting things like this at the thrift store. Curtains or tablecloths, napkins, are a perfect thing to look for when you're doing projects that require fabric, because you could get them so inexpensive. And some of them are really beautiful. Let's just cut over here. Okay. There we go. First part done. So now what I'm going to do to finish this off, I'm seeing a few places that I missed with the glue. This is what happens when I talk and work. Ah, thanks, Di. This really would make such a pretty decor piece anywhere. This could go in a kitchen, this could go in an entryway, a living room, a bedroom, a bathroom. It's so lightweight to hang anywhere. You can hang this on a thumbtack. This way, when the holiday is over and you no longer want to display this, you're not seeing any holes in the walls. Or even any of those the tiny little command hooks. Okay, so now what we're going to do next is the chunky yarn. I'm going to go around the edge of this, and I am going to do each, what do you call those in a pumpkin? You know how it's sectioned, these lines? So it sort of outlines it, but I love the cream color of the lace, the cream color of the yarn as well. So it's like a monochromatic, just very sweet. When we decorate it after this is when I'm going to add some of the fall colors, but you could do whatever colors you want. Sometimes I feel like step out of the box and it doesn't always need to be oranges or coppers. Hey Marie, how are you? I thought I saw, aren't you at the beach already? I'm getting very jealous of the pictures that I see you post lately. You're always at the beach. You're living my life. So I'm living vicariously through you. I think we are going to go to the beach tomorrow. And I just keep going and keep this on the skein. I don't cut it until the end when I realize that I am at the end. Not that it matters. With yarn, you can piece little pieces in, and because it's so fuzzy, you can't notice if you started and stopped somewhere. But I keep one continuous piece going around the entire thing until I get to the end. And again, I do now probably a 2-inch bead of glue, and then press the yarn on top of it and just keep going round and round. So I started to say it doesn't need to be traditional fall colors. I kind of like that. Oh, that was yesterday, the last hurrah. Aw. Well, what are you doing today? Today's a beautiful beach day. I think we're going to do the Kismet walk tomorrow from Field 5 at Robert Moses. I hope it's not as hot as it is today, though, because that's like I think it's like a 2-mile walk. And it's not, you're not walking on the water where you would get that cool breeze. So if it's really hot, I'll be dying. And see how it just outlines it? And it really starts to take shape when I do these, the vertical lines. I keep thinking that there should be a name for those things in pumpkins. Is there a name for those? Does anybody know? I have no idea. They're not veins, they're ribs. Ribs. That's it. I just saw that, and I saw it before, and I'm like, what is she talking about? Ribs. Ribs, the pumpkin ribs. Exactly. Thank you. My brain sometimes doesn't work. For those of you that join later, I know Christy came on here and put the link to Divas Get Crafty group. Please join that group. It really is a lot of fun. You can see great projects, all different creators in there. The group is continuously growing, which means more and more people are coming in, which is so awesome. I'm excited to be here again. Oh, you just call them grooves. You watched a lady paint a pink pumpkin on canvas and added hydrangeas. Love the non-traditional colors. Yes, Cindy. Yes. I've been seeing a lot of blues lately, but you could do any color. Make it your own. That's what creativity is about. Making it your own. I'm just going to do in here. I'm to the end now. I'm gluing down the last piece, and then I will make my cut. So you'll notice I didn't cut before, so there's no measuring, no any of that. I'm all for easy projects. There, you can see how it's all outlined. Now I'm going to do the ribs. You have to make sure that you have no glue strings here. Get those off. And see what I mean? I'm not finishing the back, because and that's why I like to do the ribs with the yarn, so you're not seeing these dark lines through the lace. It just softens it up. Plus it defines it. Hi Tina, how are you? Thanks so much for joining. Okay, again, I'm not cutting it off the skein here. I just keep pulling however much I need. I'm going to start doing these, and I do a 2-3 inch bead of glue. The yarn sticks so easily and quickly to the hot glue. Just make sure that you don't burn yourself, because these burns hurt. No joke. I've had 3rd-degree burns that were very serious, and well, let me tell you, they hurt. I'd be lost without my glue gun. It's probably the one tool that I use continuously, but you have to be careful. Okay, so got to the bottom again. I'm going to stick it, and then I cut it. And like I said, easy, just repetitive motions. But see how that just adds definition? And it covers and softens these dark rib lines, if you will, that you'd be able to see through the lace. Now, if this was a solid piece of fabric, you wouldn't see that, so you may not want to do that, which is fine. As I said, many people I've seen do this has used 2 of these forms, and I guess sandwiching the fabric in between the 2 so it stays. I'm not quite sure why. I figured out pretty quickly that I didn't need to use 2. You know, it's one of those things when, oh, lost my, it's one of those things when I see someone doing something, because I'm such a visual person, I figure out quickly in my head how I would do it, and I don't stop to listen necessarily to instructions. It's like putting anything together that you buy. I hate reading instructions. Oh, hi June, how are you? Thanks so much. Thanks for joining. Yeah, I'm not a directions reader. I have no patience for it. I kind of look at something and say, okay, this is how I think it should go together. So for any of you that may have bought like furniture pieces or things from IKEA that come with 50 million parts, and I don't have patience for that. I can't do it. As far as creative projects like this, I belong to many groups. I follow many people, and I'll see a project that they did that I'll fall in love with, and I'll say, oh, I could do that, and I think of my own spin and just come up with a way to do it. I don't necessarily listen to how they say to do it. It's the creative brain in me. And see, again, it just defines it. And it goes really quickly. I'm doing probably a 3-inch bead of glue, placing it on there, and just keep going. I haven't cut anything off the skein. I just keep pulling however much I need off. Done, done, done. Easy peasy. I was going to say maybe I'll start to get some of my fall things out, but I know my husband's going to be waiting for me to get out there and do that carport with him. Oh, gosh. I'm excited at the fact that I'll have a new one, which will be very nice, and I could be in there organizing again. And you know, when your workspace is clean and organized, you just suddenly become more inspired and motivated. I'm in the same inspiration turns here. Exactly. So I know that when that space is done, I will be motivated and inspired to do some more projects that I don't normally, or that I haven't been doing lately. I have different workspaces. Right now, I'm in my studio where all of my florals are. You can see a wreath behind me. So this is downstairs. I have my office here. I have my paint room here, but outside is my woodworking space, my bigger project space, which has been really hot. So too hot really to be out there working, especially in a tent type situation. You feel like you're boiling in there. So this is the perfect time of the year to get this going, where it starts to get a little bit cooler. going along with. And as I said, you could do this any colors, any fabric. You could even choose to use the rope. I get this rope at the Dollar Tree too. I believe they call it nautical rope. I'm going to use this for the stem. I'll show you how I do that, wrap the stem. But you could do the entire pumpkin in this. Give it more of a rustic look. You could use any color yarn. Using the orange yarn could be pretty with this too. The cream color lace with orange yarn would be really pretty, striking. It would show up more. But I'm kind of digging this tone on tone monochromatic look. It's just very delicate. And all right, I need a new glue gun, a new glue stick. Let's see if I could just finish this one. So again, the possibilities are endless. Okay, let's keep going here. And as I said, I wouldn't necessarily put this on the front door. I mean, I suppose you could, but see how it's, I see something hanging down there. It's deep. There, then you can see the depth. Not room to put this between a regular door and a storm door, but if your storm door is covered, protected from the elements, you may be able to put this on the storm door. Again, it's super duper light, so it doesn't take much to hang this. Won't do any damage. Ah, thank you, Di. I'm really loving this look. Even though I love fall colors. I always say fall colors are just, they are rich. I think as a kid, I've always loved them. It's been my, my colors in fashion as well. To go with my skin tone, I love the olive greens, the coppers, the golds. So pretty. But for this project, I said I am doing a cream color pumpkin. And I'm really loving it. Loving it. And for those that didn't hear, again, Divas Get Crafty, join the group. Christy put the link in the comments here. You are going to see different creators all day. There will be a new one every day on the hour. Every hour on the hour. I'm just looking at wow, it's 10:38 already. See, I start talking and look at how pretty and defined that is. Again, get off your group. Now I'm going to take the stem and I am going to use this rope. Again, this is from the Dollar Tree. I'm done with my yarn. I'm going to put that aside. And let's wrap. That's all I do is put down a bead of glue, hold it for a minute, and then just start wrapping the glue. I not only put the glue on the pumpkin itself, once I get the first layer around, I put it between each, like I will put it on here too, so that it sticks to each other as I go up. Again, I'm not cutting anything yet. I will cut it at the end, so I know exactly. And I just hold it for a second, because this is thick, so it takes a second to adhere. and I will put it on the layer before so that it sticks to it, and just keep going round and round. So this really is the project of the glue gun. Just keep gluing. I can't help thinking Cinderella. Oh, you're right, Marie. See, when someone says something, all of a sudden I'm such a visual person. Someone says something and I get a visual in my head. I am thinking of the horse and carriage, the pumpkin carriage that Cinderella comes riding in. Kind of makes you think of that, right? How cool. For any people doing a DIY shower, a wedding shower, a bridal shower, baby shower at this time of the year, wouldn't these be so pretty? Good idea, Marie. Cinderella. Even a baby girl shower, how sweet. And again, I just keep layering and layering and putting the glue on the row that's on there before so it sticks to it. I haven't cut anything yet. I'm just wrapping and wrapping. I can't tell you how happy I am to be working in here when I know what my husband is doing outside. It does remind you of Cinderella, right? That's so funny. So funny. One more layer to go here. I lied, 2 more. Just go back over the top. I'm going to put quite a bit of glue in the top to hold this. Now I am at the end and I'm going to make a cut. This rope is thick and it's not so easy to cut. So let's see here. I have to keep and then it sort of frees at the end, so you want to get glue into those little fibers there so they all hold on to each other. And I'm just going to hold it for a second, but this is the basis for the pumpkin. Let me get the glue off. It's got the rope stem, the beautiful lace outlined with each rib in that chunky yarn. Now comes the fun part where you can decorate it. I am going to put, again, I'm looking at my inspiration or my thought for this was sweet. I am going to add a little, but I am going to add some fall colors here. I have this ribbon that has orange in it. I have this ribbon, which is like a burlap ribbon that has a metallic edge on it. So I'm going to make a bow first, and then I'm going to add some greenery and florals to this. Thanks, Let me get my little zip ties out here. I have my tiny little zip ties. The other cool thing for this, we're going to see how this works. Lace has holes in it, obviously. Now, if you're going to put greens or something on, you could just glue on, I suppose. But I'm going to try and go through these little holes here with my zip ties. All right, so I'm going to do a very simple bow. I take my length of ribbon, I make a loop the size of the loop that I think will be pretty on this. I squinch it between my fingers. I make another loop. Hold them up to see that they're the same size. And I want one side flowing down, so I'm going to make this tail a little bit longer because this is how I am envisioning this. And I'm also going to add this ribbon. Let's see. I'm going to place it right on top, twist it because you want the right side of the ribbon showing. I'm going to do that a little bit smaller. I love this ribbon. Make sure my loops are the same size. Twist it. Now I'm going to take a tiny little twist tie. Pull that tight. Yes, it does look Victorian. Victorian, romantic. Again, not necessarily what you may think of when you think of fall, but I still love it. Okay, there's my bow. I'm going to cut off my edge, and I'm going to take another little twist tie, and these are white twist ties, so I won't really see this on the fabric, although I'm going to cover it up in greens anyway. And I think I'm going to place that right there. I'm not doing it on the stem. I want it down a little bit so this way when it's hanging on the wall you can really see the ribbon. Wait, I'm going to go from the bottom now with this. I'm going to stick it through the little holes. Oh my God, it fits perfectly. Like, this was made to do this. I love it. And I'm also going around one of those ribs, so it's going to hold it secure. All right, I have the two parts here. I'm just going to pull this. Got it tight. Cut it off, and here is the bow. Fluff it up. And this ribbon I love because it just does a curly cue. Look how pretty that is. Now what I'm going to do, where am I on time here? 48. I am going to add some leaves. I have some berries. I love these color leaves. So here's where I'm deviating from doing all the monochromatic. I'm adding a little bit of the fall in berries and leaves. So let's see how this looks. And again, these have skinny little stems. So because this fabric has holes in it, I am just poking it through the hole, and I'm going to glue gun it from the other side. Wait a second for it to dry. Easy peasy. And again, you're not going to see the back of this. So this is cool. Thanks, Eileen is on here. Next up is Eileen of Creative Eye Designs with Eileen. She'll be creating a fun project with you as well, which I believe is a pumpkin. Totally different pumpkin. I mean, again, what says fall more than pumpkins do? And seeing how everyone can create something completely different, different materials, is really a lot of fun. So Eileen will be on at 11 when I am finished, so please join her for the project that she will do. And see how wispy? Now I'm going to do another one on this side. I'm not sure. I did post the lineup for Divas Get Crafty yesterday. Sometimes I have to cut these a little bit skinnier. I'm not sure exactly who is up after Eileen, but there'll be another person on at noon, at 1, 2, 3, etc. All day of fun. And even if you can't join in live for all of them, they will be on the replay. So be sure to watch them. And even if you do join in on the replay, let them know that you stopped in, #replay, and let them know that you watched. I need to get this a little bit skinnier. So I'm cutting it with my clippers here and sort of making a point. So this goes through the whole of the lace. I'm gonna put some glue on. And see the softness that it just adds? Now I'm gonna try and put a few little berries on top of that, and maybe, I haven't decided, a little bit of ivy. Putting ivy and just little leaves like this, soften it up. Let's see. I have a whole bush here. I'm gonna pull off some of these. First I'm gonna try with my let's see. I'm gonna poke these through the hole here and see how these do. I'm gonna glue it from the back. If the stem is long, then I will just cut it once my glue dries. But look at how, oh, just lost my leaf. Hold on here, yikes. Yikes, yikes, yikes. I'll get that in there. And see how the berries added to it? And I think I will add a little bit of these green leaves too. And again, this takes such a little bit of material. This is obviously a big green bush that I have, but I'm cutting off a tiny little leaf of this. And I think we will go right in the middle of this. Actually, I'm gonna have this coming out of my bow. Let's see how we do there. I'm gonna glue this to my bow. And just adds a little bit of softness. Let me get this in. See if I could poke this through. My eyes are going. Let that through, let that dry for a second. Oh, thank you, Di. So pretty, right? Ribbons are my love. Oh, I will absolutely post the finished projects later so that you can see it. Again, for all of you who have watched, thank you so much for joining. And please be sure to join the Divas Get Crafty group. There's great creators on there, great projects, a source of insight, especially with the holidays coming up. I think everybody looks to be inspired at the holidays of how can we decorate, how can we use our things. There, that added the leaves. Oh, I would love to teach a bow class, June. Maybe I could work that out with Christine here, and I could just do a bow class, especially for the holidays coming up. and starting with fall. So many people look for a bow like this that they'd want to put on a project like this, or if you're buying any of those corn stalks, you want bows to put them on your pumpkins. The lanterns, there's so many things that you could use bows on. And of course, Christmas, use them all over for Christmas. Let me see here. Did it, 10:55. What do you think? And again, I could have gone tone on tone with this, just done greens with a burlap bow. Or if you want to make this any other color, blues, what have you. So that was my project for today. Again, the cost of this was, the pumpkin frame came from the Dollar Tree, so that was $1. I had gotten this fabric, which was a lace curtain topper at the thrift store for $2.99 that I can make multiple projects out of. And as far as the ribbons and the greens, you're using such a tiny bit that you can just clip from anything. And I did use my chunky yarn to do the ribs, but you can do anything with that. You can use the rope as well. You could use any fabric. You don't have to do lace. So if anyone is inspired by this and decides to make it themselves, please take a picture, share it with me on my page, and please follow my page so that you can see upcoming projects that I'm doing. I thank you all for joining with me. Truly, this was fun. And you got me away from helping my husband. Now I'm going to have to go out there and help him. Anyway, stay tuned for Eileen of Creative Eye Designs by Eileen next. She's going to be coming on at 11 and doing a great project with you. As well as every hour on the hour after that. A fun day of beautiful creators coming up. Okay? Thanks so much for joining me. Have a wonderful weekend.